would love to work with Eddie. Eddie won't return my calls, so maybe one day we'll have a conversation.
Sir,
What would you want it fixed, Tyler?
how would you want that fixed?
And
How would I want fixed?
let me tell you,
What you're asking me to do right now, first of all, I'm not going to get into this right now because it's ugly and it's nasty. And it came from a comedy skit.
I want to let you know that there is a definitive blueprint that you can follow to achieve success, prosperity, longevity, and peace of mind.
I would love to work with Eddie. Eddie won't return my calls, so maybe one day we'll have a conversation.
What you just heard is film producer Tyler Perry talking about veteran actor and comedian Eddie Murphy, publicly admitting that he's been avoiding him. Apparently, Monique, who has been beefing with Perry for over a decade now, is the reason Perry and Eddie don't get along. Well, if you happen not to know what has been happening, here's Monique trying to break it down.
now I said no to some very powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels. And I said no to Lionsgate.
So here's the thing. Monique refused to be used by Tyler Perry and his peers. And soon enough, the fierce Oscar winner came out gun blazing, accusing both Perry and his good friend Oprah Winfrey of blackballing her. And that's when Eddie Murphy opted to jump in to protect Monique. This is what the legendary comedian said about Hollywood gatekeepers like Perry and Oprah.
I want to let you know that there is a definitive blueprint that you can follow to achieve success, prosperity, longevity, and peace of mind.
According to the actor, to achieve what he has listed, any aspiring actor needs to steer clear of people like Tyler Perry. In the past, he has also revealed that he may have been forced to play roles he wasn't comfortable with, but now he urges the likes of Monique to stand their ground and fight for what is right. And talking of roles, guess how many Eddie has played? Well, take a listen.
A cop and a robber and a doctor and a professor and different ethnicities. And I've been animals, I've been a donkey.
So, what advice did Eddie Murphy give Monique that got Tyler Perry fuming with anger? We are about to find out. When stand-up comic and actor Cat Williams was interviewed by Shannon Sharpe earlier this year, not only did that conversation have everyone talking, especially other black stand-up comics who couldn't help but share their thoughts on the matter, whether Cat mentioned their names or not, but it also had people wondering what would be the next interview that would have all of Black Twitter buzzing. Weeks later, that question was finally answered when stand-up comic and Oscar-winning actress Monique sat down with Shannon Sharpe for a two-part interview on his podcast, Club Shay Shay. The conversation between the two of them was nearly 3 hours long, and as you would expect, Tyler Perry featured a lot, a debate that has now had Eddie involved. If you need your memory jogged, the bad blood originally started with the press tour, an Oscar campaign for the movie Precious, back in 2009. Monique claims that Oprah, who served as a producer on the film, along with director Lee Daniels and fellow producer Tyler Perry, advised her to go to the Cannes Film Festival to support the movie. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, the actress said she wanted to spend any downtime she had with her family, but pushing back earned her the label of hard to work with. But that isn't even Monique's main criticism of Oprah and Tyler. In 2010, a month after the comedian won the Oscar for Precious, Oprah had Monique's brother on her talk show. Mo had been vocal about how her brother, Gerald Imes, had emmed her when she was a child. In her interview with Sharpe, the actress said that Oprah did call her to ask if it was okay to have him on the show. Your brother wants to come on the show, and he wants to apologize to you for you, and he wants to tell other people how to look out for predators, Monique recounted Oprah. According to her, she told Oprah she wanted nothing to do with him, but that she should still do the show in case her brother had become a different person. At the time, she was grateful that Oprah had reached out. I start seeing commercials with my mother and my father and my other brother, who used to be my manager, who knew the fear that I had of the brother that was up on stage, Monique recalled to Sharpe. The actress claimed that Oprah did not tell her that her other family members would be on the show. You betrayed me, sister, Monique said. Had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm going to have your mama on the show, I would have said, shut that S down. Monique also claimed that her family first went to Barbara Walters for the interview, but she turned them down. Monique, I told your family I can't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. You just won that award, so why would I do that to you? Walters said in Mo's account. Expectedly, Oprah and Perry have never publicly agreed that they were the reason Hollywood stopped casting Monique. With that said, Mo has claimed more than once that Perry made her a private apology, then took it back once he found out she'd recorded their conversation. So, as I sit here with you and you say, wait a minute, I heard that man say he was wrong and was going to apologize, the actress revealed in a past interview. Well, that's turned into, I'll meet with you. Fortunately, the actor's career is getting back on track, but her recent comments do little to suggest that a reconciliation with Perry, or Oprah especially, is on the horizon, and maybe Eddie Murphy has something to do with it. Mo has had a more difficult time than most in accruing allies for her causes, but now she has Eddie and others trying to protect her. In 2019, she appeared on Steve Harvey's talk show and debated with him about the manner in which she'd gone about bringing attention to her professional struggles, as well as her battle with Netflix over fair compensation. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. The difficulty came in when people that looked like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve on the list, Monique said. Y'all knew that I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. And when I heard you go on the air and say, my sister burned too many bridges and it's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt I was? Harvey, however, refused to share her perspective, resulting in the two fighting to make their contrasting points. Monique has, however, found support in 50 Cent. In 2020, the G-Unit honcho cast Monique for season 2 of his show, BMF. He's also supported her against her rivals in other ways. In a now-deleted Instagram post, 50 Cent urged Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey to make things right with Monique. I'm sure Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry would not want to continue to allow their influence to damage Theroma's worldwide career. And this has gone on for way too long, he wrote. So now would be a great time to apologize because I'm going to put her back on. I don't miss... Without the interference of Tyler and his friends, Monique was poised to become one of Hollywood's biggest stars when she took home the Academy Award for Best Actress in a supporting role for playing Mary Lee Johnston in the 2009 film Precious. The abusive and manipulative character was in stark contrast to the playful and vibrant personality the stand-up comedian displays on stage. But nailing the dark and sinister role showed everyone that she was versatile and ready to take the entertainment biz by storm. Only things didn't quite pan out that way for the Maryland native. Instead of proceeding on a steady incline in her career trajectory, she seemingly disappeared from the big screen. Her IMDb page even details a year-long unexplained hiatus from the industry, but her Oscar-winning role in the movie Precious is where all the troubles began. Executive produced by Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey and directed by Lee Daniels, Precious was released in 2009 to glowing accolades. Based on the novel Push by the author Sapphire, Precious tells the story of an overweight girl, Clarice Precious Jones, played by Gabourey Sidibe, and her abusive mother, Mary Lee Johnston, played by Monique. On the night of March 7, 2010, Mo showed up to the 82nd Academy Awards in her elegant royal blue evening gown. As the late comedian Robin Williams announced her as the winner for Best Actress in a Supporting Role, everyone in attendance at the Kodak Theater in Hollywood, California, collectively rose to their feet to give her a standing ovation. Yes, this was her moment. However, the opening line of her acceptance speech rubbed many people the wrong way. She thanked the Academy for showing that it can be about the performance and not the politics. Wait, did she really publicly disrespect the members of the Academy? OMG. No wonder the industry won't cast her. Mo later told The Hollywood Reporter that she was offered the role in The Butler that Oprah Winfrey played, and she even received an offer to appear on another Lee Daniels project, the highly rated show we all now know as Fox's Empire. Daniels also reportedly offered Monique the role as Richard Pryor's grandmother in a biopic Daniels was slated to direct. But following her Oscar win, the actress claimed, "Each of those things that he offered me was taken off the table. They all just went away. But that's just part of the business, you know?" Sometime in 2014, the actress received a call from Daniels, and it was during that phone call he reportedly told her, "Monique, you've been blackballed," she explained to The Hollywood Reporter. When she asked for an explanation why, Daniels supposedly said, "Because you didn't play the game." Following the release of that interview, Daniels issued a statement calling Monique a creative force to be reckoned with. But then he added that her demands through Precious were not always in line with the campaign. This soured her relationship with the Hollywood community. Ouch. As for the post-Precious roles he offered her, Daniels said, I have and will always think of her for parts that we can collaborate on. However, the consensus among the creative teams and powers thus far were to go another way with these roles. As an Academy Award-winning actress, surely many doors would open, offers would come pouring in, and the entertainer's net worth would increase, right? Well, not quite, according to Monique at least. She was under the assumption that taking home the coveted award would lead to more respect, more choices, and more money. However, she learned that wouldn't be the case. Mo told The Hollywood Reporter of a quote from Hattie McDaniel, the first African-American to win an Oscar for her 1939 performance in Gone with the Wind. Hattie said, "After I won that award, it was as if I had done something wrong. It was the same with me," Monique said. That would certainly leave a sour taste in anyone's mouth, and while some would maybe keep their negative thoughts to themselves, Mo went on a rampage and ruffled way too many feathers. During one of her most controversial stand-up routines, the comedian went after the people she felt had crushed her chances of having a successful acting career, directed toward those who were involved in the film Precious, including Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey. Monique said, "They can suck my D if I had one." In response, Daniels appeared on Rock Rants and insisted he had supported Monique and was on her side initially. "I fought hard for her to get that job. I wanted her to get that job, and she was paid her money. She was paid the money for the budget that we had," he said in regards to the comedian receiving a $50,000 payment for appearing in the film. Daniels added, "And for her to badmouth myself and Tyler and Oprah is disrespectful, and it's wrong. She's wrong. She's out of pocket. She's really wrong. Is it right that she was paid $50K for a film that grossed over $47 million domestically? Perhaps not, but Mo's public expression of disappointment and anger didn't earn her any new friends in the industry either. Next, in January 2018, Mo set her sights on the digital streaming service Netflix. Netflix reportedly offered her $500,000 to film her own stand-up comedy special. The comic felt the offer was way too low, especially in comparison to the $13 million they gave fellow comedian Amy Schumer. Monique's offer was $19.5 million less than that of her male counterparts, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. In an Instagram video, Mo called for a boycott of Netflix for gender bias and color bias. She even took her crusade to The View to speak about what she deemed unfair treatment. Monique also told Vulture that she wasn't feeling the company's low offer, and she demanded that they take a look at her resume, but they wouldn't budge. "So, when my husband and our attorney says, 'Well, let's go back in so we can renegotiate this,' it was take it or leave it. That's what it is," she said. The actress pushing for more and more money is reportedly a common theme in her business dealings, dating back to the buzz she received after starring in Precious, according to the New York Daily News. But did she really think that trying to hurt a media giant like Netflix by publicizing their private negotiations would do her career more harm than good? Hollywood may not be knocking down her door, but Monique still has a legion of fans who enjoy her sometimes raunchy jokes. Because she has held on to her popularity in the underground circuit, she has found a new home on the comedy trail. Back in 2019, she was hired to headline her own residency in Las Vegas at the SLS Hostel and Casino, according to the Washington Post. The publication also stated that Monique was the first Black female comedian to have her own residency in Sin City. After all that she has been through, Mo said she has no regrets about how things panned out for her career. While speaking with Las Vegas Weekly, she was just excited to get back on the stage and show the world what she's made of. "When you come to Monique Does Vegas, I'ma do Vegas, and you're coming for a lot of laughter, no judgment, a lot of love, and a great time," she said. After her Netflix boycott failed to gain traction, Mo ratcheted up her feud with the streaming service giant with a discrimination lawsuit in November 2019, CNN reports. Claiming that the company failed to offer her more money because she was a Black woman, the lawsuit stated, the terms of Netflix's offer to Monique were discriminatory based on her gender and race color, while alleging that the offer tried to perpetuate the drastic pay gap that Black women experience. In addition to claiming that Netflix refused to negotiate with Mo's team, it also accused the company of lacking diversity. Netflix has maintained a corporate culture, reaching the highest levels of senior leadership, that has been insensitive to Black workers. Relatedly, the company has been plagued by a lack of racial diversity within senior leadership, as well as across the organization. Netflix's legal team hit back hard on Monique the following January, calling her discrimination suit nonsensical and claiming she failed to explain why she was entitled to be offered what the stars to whom she compares herself were offered for creating such comedy specials in a filed motion to dismiss her claim. Whatever she's going through right now, Eddie Murphy also went through a similar experience, so he understands Mo's pain well and is ready to stand and fight with and for her. For millions of fans, Eddie Murphy is synonymous with the art form. His mannerisms were spot on when he did impressions of James Brown and Stevie Wonder during his time on SNL. His shrill and recognizable voice made fans squeal whenever he did voiceover work in films like Mulan and Shrek. His observational comedy in his stand-up specials, Raw and Delirious, was side-splitting as well. Murphy was one of the first comedy rock stars. He started out in stand-up and sketch, proving to be the standout star on SNL when he was just 19 years old. He could carry sketches with other cast members and by himself, a task he did very often in sketches like Boo Wheat Sings, Professor Shabazz K. Morton, and James Brown's Celebrity Hot Tub Party. No matter how big or small his part was, the audience adored him and his electric energy. Most of his skits were performed just once, so the jokes never got stale. Later, just like Monique, he became a box office sensation with films like Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, and The Golden Child, bringing his comedy prowess to the big screen. He was also nominated for an Oscar in 2007 for his role as Jimmy Thunder early in Dreamgirls and won an SAG Award for the same role. His ability to dabble in different entertainment categories paved the way for modern-day comedy behemoths like Kevin Hart and Chris Rock to dabble as well. What's even more incredible is how the funny man was able to turn the culture on its head during his heyday. On primetime television, no one pushed the boundaries of race, or religion quite like SNL in the 1980s, and Murphy was the ringleader of the movement. However, his meteoric rise and influence slowly disintegrated into what some would categorize as a fall. He starred in a number of box office bombs like 1,000 Words and The Adventures of Pluto Nash. He also had a music career that wasn't received all that well. He didn't return to Studio 8H for more than 30 years after his last episode in 1984, and David Spade called Murphy a falling star during a segment in 1995. During SNL's 40th anniversary special in February 2015, Murphy's highly publicized appearance was somewhat underwhelming, as he spent about a minute or so on stage and awkwardly thanked the fans for their appreciation. Robin Thede, a writer and performer for The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore, tweeted, "It makes me sad that Eddie Murphy won't do comedy tonight." Soon after, he appeared at the Oscars to present an award, but seemed less than thrilled to be on stage. A similar reaction from social media members made the rounds. One Twitter user wrote, "Eddie Murphy needs a Snickers or something." Although he hasn't really appeared in much for a while, let us not forget what Eddie Murphy did for the comedy world. His inaugural season of SNL in 1981 was a breath of fresh air, just what the show needed to come back from purgatory after executive producer Lorne Michaels took a brief hiatus. None of SNL's biggest stars would have gotten the platform to perform if Eddie hadn't saved the show, quite literally. Without him, fans wouldn't have experienced the extreme physical comedy of Chris Farley, the goofiness of Tracy Morgan, or the superb writing skills of Tina Fey. As Chris Rock said during the 40th anniversary special, if Saturday Night Live hadn't hired Eddie Murphy, this show would have lasted about half as long as Baywatch. Additionally, many of the comedians we know and love today wouldn't have had such an incredible person to model their careers after if Eddie had not become the force he became. Aside from Rock and Hart, comedians said to have been inspired by him include Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Patrice O'Neal, Jared Carmichael, and Leslie Jones. To this day, some people say that Murphy lost his funny, but in the eyes of his millions of fans, these slight missteps don't put a damper on his legacy. Eddie Murphy has absolutely nothing to prove. Just because he was in a few bad movies doesn't mean he forgot how to be funny. Just because he keeps to himself doesn't mean he doesn't care. Just because he's a comedian doesn't mean he always has to be on. The fact that he broke barriers on primetime television, transcended expectations by branching out into different industries, and influenced so many comedians who carry his legacy proves that he has been on. So technically, there is no better person to stand and support Monique than Eddie. Yes, Mo has been in trouble. However, sparks that things were changing between the actress and film director Lee Daniels became more than evident back in 2022 when Lee appeared on stage at her Monique and Friends April Fool's Day with the Queen of Comedy show in Staten Island. It was there that he publicly apologized for hurting you in any way that I did. By all accounts, that apology seems like the start of something new, as production for his film The Deliverance, starring Monique, began later that same year. While Lee expounded on being reunited with the Parkers actress in a previous interview, his latest post to Instagram reaffirmed their commitment to creating art and rekindling their friendship. At dinner here on our first press day for The Deliverance, it got me reflecting on the 25-year friendship I've had with the actor at the Realmo worldwide. Like any real friendship, it's one that stood the test of time. And boy, have our times been tested, Lee captioned. So will Tyler Perry and Oprah follow suit and apologize? Only time will tell. And that's it from us today. Until next time, thank you for watching.